Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our reading through the Tanak night. Okay, this is our reading through the Tanak night. 14th of August, 2024. Okay, we'll be reading out of the Book of Jubilees for our topic for discussion. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, to Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have uh, 1,000 videos that you can and examine. And these videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. If you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay? This is a non-Messianic channel. Okay? We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to this channel. Welcome to our reading through the Tanakh. Okay? We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, read Psalms. We're going to read current events, some need to know information. Then I'll open it up for some questions and comments, dialogue. And then we'll go into our topic, which is pick up where we left off last night, reading out of the Book of Jubilees, reading and breaking down the scriptures. Okay, so with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come this day, bow down and honoring you and praising you and believing in you. And we thank you for your wisdom and knowledge that you have poured out upon us. And we see you now within the Holy Scriptures, oh Lord, and we trust you with all our heart and with all our soul. Keep not thy silence, but shine forth on our enemies with thy great power and thy great glory. Peace be unto you. Okay? So we'll read the Psalms. Okay?
You, Shalom, you want me to read it or you have one already?
Go ahead. You want to read?
I'm going to be reading from Psalms 141. Keep my heart from
Okay.
evil. Lord,
Okay.
I cry, Lord, I cry unto thee. Make haste unto me. Give give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up my hands as the evening's sacrifice. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not hear of their danities. I think that's the word. Let the righteousness smite me, it shall be kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head, for yet my prayer also shall be the in their calamities. When their judges are overthrown in stony places, thou shalt hear my words, for they are sweet. Our bones are scattered at the grave's mouth, as when one cutteth and cleaveth wood unto the earth. Be, be mine eyes are unto thee, O God, O Lord, in thee is my trust. Leave not my soul destitute. Keep me from the snars which they have laid for me, and the gins of the workers of iniquity. Let the wicked fall into their own nets, which is that I willeth escape. That's Psalms 141. Keep my heart from evil.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay. So 9, verse 9 says, "Keep me from the snares of which they have laid for me, and the gin of the workers of or gins of the workers of iniquity." So that is saying that wicked spirits, they have, they have trap laid for you to be caught up in. And I know over the Middle East with the Arabs, a jinn is a wicked spirit. Okay. So with that being said, we go to our current events.
Global health emergency has just been declared, and this is because a new spread of a virus is now going around. Now, this is a newer variant. I want to address what's going on. No, this is not COVID. I will address this in just a moment. I've talked about this already this week, but this is something that many people are extremely worried about. And here in the United States, we should be a little bit concerned about this as well. I'm going to break all this down in just a moment. But all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So, oh great, we have another global health emergency. But what is this from? Well, let's discuss this. The World Health Organization just today declares Mpox outbreaks in Africa a global health emergency as a new form of the virus spreads. Yes, Mpox is now starting to mutate. It is now turning into a huge concern. Just look at this. Why is this happening now? Well, look at this. It says there are a few reasons. An assistant professor in Emory University's infectious disease department tells Yahoo Life more than 14,000 cases of Mpox have been reported in the DRC so far this year, exceeding the total for all of 2023. And at least 524 people have died there, 240 of them children. Says the infection is 4 times more fatal for kids under 15 than it is for adults. Okay, that's a huge concern. But let's get into what they're really talking about. It says that the guy says it's not clear why the disease has become so deadly to children, but the prime suspect is a variation or a subclade of the virus that has branched off and developed mutations that make it better at spreading between people. This is part of the concern, that it makes it easier for it to mutate and spread amongst people. It spreads amongst animals and from animals to human. Now it's easier to go from human to human. And what's going on right now? Well, we are seeing a massive amount of immigration here into the United States. People are traveling abroad. They're coming into the United States, sneaking through the border. So if somebody comes from Congo or a South African country or area, the issue is they could be coming into the United States already infected with Mpox. They may not know it, and we wouldn't know it either. Let's keep reading this. It says the new subclade may also be fueling the virus's spread across borders to other countries within the African continent, including Burundi, the Central African Republic, Kenya, and Rwanda, that led to Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to declare a continent-wide public health emergency just yesterday on August 13th. It says so far, however, no cases of the new subclade have been identified outside of the African subregion, according to the person's notes. Now, here's where things are interesting. We're already getting reports here in the United States, and I want to show you this. This is a map, according to Newsweek. This is a map that shows Mpox's virus detection in wastewater. This is between July 10th and August 6th. I want to show you this really quick. Okay, look at this right here. So this is the map. Now, in red, this is the consistent detection. It's over 80% of samples tested positive in the most recent detection in the last 2 weeks. And then intermittent detection, this means 1 to 80% of samples are tested positive. Most recent detection in the last 2 weeks. Blue is no detection, but they have tested samples. And then in gray is insufficient data. Okay, there's very few samples. Now, there's no red. Okay, let's just be very clear. I don't want to spread, any false rumors or reports. There's no red. Okay, so it means we are not seeing samples over 80%. That's good news right there. We are, however, seeing some samples, in certain areas. Now, this is why it's a concern. Look at the areas. Look at the three dots. Okay, so right here, this is in San Diego, California. The population served 22 million or 2,200,000, I believe. 9 samples collected. Out of 9 samples, 1 was positive. Over here in Los Angeles, okay, or San Francisco, wherever we're at.
Do you like having a P.O. box but are tired of wasting time and
Where is it at? Somewhere over there. Anyway, you get the idea. Over here in the San Francisco area, there is a detection, and then over here in Chicago, okay, 3 samples collected, 1 was positive. What are these areas? San Diego, San Francisco, or where is it at? Just had it. I missed it. Anyway, somewhere over there, the San Francisco area, and then in Chicago. What do those areas have in common? And keep in mind what's here. Okay, this is Colorado. It's interesting though. Okay, what's very interesting about Colorado is there's no testing. Okay, there's no testing in Colorado, but where are most immigrants going? Going to California, going to Colorado, going to Illinois or the Chicago area. Well, what's interesting is that those areas are the ones that are seeing the highest detection. Is there a reason why? Is it because people are coming in from other countries? Most likely. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention now is because we're already getting some people discussing a potential shot. What do you need to do? And I'm just going to be very honest with you. That's the first thing the CDC says. How do you prevent this mpox from spreading? Well, step number 1, there it is. Okay. Now again, whether you go and get it or not, it's none of my business. But I want to show you how it spreads. I think that's the most important thing. Look at this right here. How it spreads. It says there are 2 types of mpox, clade 1 and clade 2. Both clades can spread through direct contact with infected wild animals, through close contact, including intimate or sexual contact with a person with mpox, and through contact with contaminated materials. So all it takes is contact with a person, an animal, or materials. Right? Touch a doorknob. Okay, use the same car keys. Someone has it and they hand you their phone. That's all it takes. Okay? It says close or intimate contact, right? Touching objects, infected animals. This is how it spreads. Now, what does this mean for us moving forward? Well, the concern is it is going to spread. That's the concern, is that we are anticipating it is going to spread. Now, how much will it spread and when will they actually declare an outbreak here in the United States? Well, look at this. It says so far, 1,122 cases of clade 2 mpox have been reported in the United States this year. So in the past 8 months, we have seen 1,122 cases. Okay. It says most new cases have been reported in people in higher risk groups who have not received 2 doses of the mpox vaccine. This is
Okay. Anybody have any comments on that? You hear anything about it?
Shalom, this is Tasha. I have heard about I'm assuming this is the monkeypox, and they're rebranding it to call it the mpox, so it doesn't sound racist, but it does. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it sounds similar to the way that they introduced AIDS back in the 80s. The intimate, the inference about the intimate contact, originally being called monkey, coming from Africa, coming from animals, and then jumping into the American population. This sounds again to me something similar, like something that doesn't exist in nature. And then it was interesting that he said something about they're testing runoff water. Where does this water run off from? I'm no scientist by any means, but that sounds more of an environmental factor. than it is a person factor. Why are they testing runoff water for presence of this disease if it's in a population of people? And maybe somebody on his call can explain that to me. It's just it's reminiscent to me of uh, an age old propaganda when something that never existed before that could take out mankind suddenly is existing and able to kill off a large number of people. Especially you're talking about children in the Congo and West Africa, where some of the most valuable resources on the planet are. And when these things are coming up, like AIDS did, like, this so-called disease now too, it's existing in some of the most fertile and richest places on the planet. It's just a thought.
Yeah, anybody else?
Yes, shalom, everyone. I've heard about this too, and what they're saying that it's supposed to be two new strands, right? With
Right.
150% last within Africa being having the highest rate, right? So they're saying that the treatment that they have is supposed to be two new strands. But to me, just like Tasha was saying, it's with the AIDS, the Ebola, all of that that's coming from Africa, and they're doing this for a reason. We're going to hear something else about this with people coming back and forth from Africa, and they're saying that children 15 or under are really dying from this.
Right, right. Yeah,
How
they
do you
say
kill up
that.
a pop? Go ahead, babe.
Now, go ahead.
Yeah, I said, how do you kill off a population? Kill the young. If you want
Exactly.
to wipe out a planet, you
Mm-hmm.
wipe out a population, you kill the children. And then
Right.
it also feeds into this narrative about immigration. These people coming all the way from Africa. It costs $3,000 to get from Africa. That's something I could barely afford when I go to visit. How are these people getting from Africa? It's supposed to be some of the poorest people on the planet, getting from Africa all the way to the Mexican border to get into sneak into the country. It just sounds like I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, and I also want to be aware of what's going on in the world, but at the same time this also sounds like propaganda.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So go ahead.
Shalom. I was going to say, yes, Tasha, you are right. It is. So look at all of the Mexicans that has been coming across the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got to know they carrying something. I'm just saying, but you don't hear anything about that at all. And they are supposed to be testing these Mexicans, giving them health care once they come into the United States. But I have not, I don't know if anybody else have, but I have not heard anything about them bringing any type of diseases over here in America. But it seems like when it comes to Africa, when they see a great population of people coming back and forth, they seem to always want to bring out something new.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, yeah, I don't want to stereotype any group of people. And but some of the countries that are closest to us that will come in, we're going to see the migrants coming in, and we know why they're coming here. They're coming to work. They're coming to work in the jobs that most Americans won't take. But but we have a need for them. But rarely do you hear any of these major diseases, foot and mouth disease, AIDS, Ebola, like Michelle was saying, or now the monkey pox. None of that came, nobody's associating that with them. But one of the furthest countries away, or group of people furthest away, somehow they're coming all the way across whatever ocean that is, and they're getting to Mexico. Mexico is not reporting this stuff, but somehow the United States are, and it's the black immigrants that are carrying it. It just doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, if you go back to previous classes, one of the classes was the bio labs that those African nations was concerned about that America had over there. And then you have to look at, we talked about how we saw these guys, white men, saying that America cannot survive without Africa. Because so all their resources is coming out of Africa. All these European countries, NATO countries are existing because of the resources out of Africa. Well, we see that they're losing it. They see that all these revolts going on, these coups, and they no longer having access to Africa. And then we any other time, those leaders would have been dead. But now they can't get to them. This their way to try to get to them. This their way to try to stay, get a foothold back in Africa. Because just the jab, when the jab came out in 2020, it wasn't even nowhere around Africa. Now all of a sudden they got this new disease that came out, and it's in the middle of the Congo. So it's all about them. Yeah, exactly. They losing. This is their way to try to regain a foothold in Africa because they lost it.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we're looking at. And not only that, we was talking about. I had asked the question: do you think it's a consequence? Do you think it's a coincidence when you look at Bible prophecy and understand who the God of the world is and all that? That Africa is the youngest population in the world.
Right. You talked about that at one time. Yes, sir.
It's not a coincidence that Africa the youngest continent. It's because it's where we at in time and prophecy, and so that's why they placing planting this mpox in Africa, in the Congo.
Right.
Like I
I
said,
think it goes. I saw a study or article not too long ago about the guy who blew the whistle on the Tuskegee experiment. It was a white gentleman who had brought to the forefront of the news, exposing that whole study and how far it went back and all that stuff. And it's very interesting. We didn't hear about all of these plagues the way we're hearing about them now until after the exposure of that study. Now, all of a sudden, I still think that that's the foundation for a lot of the stuff that they're doing now, because they literally watched how how to spread something through the population. And
right,
so when you talk about them having those biochemical plants and stuff in Africa, where the best way to test it out on the people without having all of the limitations they have here with permissions and stuff, they do it right there where they don't have to
yeah,
do get all the signed consents and stuff, which is what they used to do here before all the laws changed.
right. That's the new warfare. It's not about digging trenches and bringing in soldiers and all that and putting them in trenches, shooting back and forth with each other. This is the new way of warfare with enhanced propaganda with the AI and with this biological warfare.
Yeah.
This is the way they fight wars now. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And one thing about it is that when they go to Africa, and you know what we notice here is that they trust them too much. They think that they are there to help them, to make them better. They're giving them these vaccines to fight off diseases, and instead they're giving them the disease, right? So just do your research on Bill Gates. That's all you got to do, and that'll tell you a lot right there.
Right. And like I said, them days over with. The African don't trust them no more. And they didn't have no out before, but now they got an out. They got Russia, China, and they done teamed up with. So they have an out, so they done kicked out all. They don't deal with the American influence or the European influence no more. They don't trust them for nothing. And so that's where it's coming from. They no longer have access to them. They don't want to deal with them. So, like I said, but 5 years ago, Ibrahim Toure, all those other guys that did those coups, they been dead. They would have been sneak some disease in there on them, poison them through their food. Been dead, but they no longer have access to them to get that close to them no more because they didn't kick them out away from them. And that's what all this about. They're trying to regain access to that's their lifeline. Africa is their lifeline.
Right. And if you do your research on which, like Tasha said, is really monkeypox, but now they want to just call it mpox and say it's related to smallpox, right? So when you do your research on that, mpox in Africa, it's been around a long time, right? But what they're saying is in this last year, there's been a great rise in the numbers because there are 2 new strands. So they just always concocting something to have us panicking and not wanting to go to Africa and all this other stuff. So they're always up to something. And my saying is, when they get around the round table, believe me, it's nothing good gonna come from it.
Right. So it's able one place these fans could come from. That's the laboratory.
Sir.
Right. Okay, here we got another one right here.
Iran rejecting urgent pleas from European leaders not to attack Israel. Iran's supreme leader has said he intends to punish Israel in response to the killing of a Hamas official in Tehran last month. An attack from Iran or one of its proxies, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, could come with little to no warning. The leaders of France, Germany, and the UK released a joint statement Monday calling for Iran to refrain from any actions that would escalate the already tense situation. Iran's foreign ministry responded to that on Tuesday, saying, quote, such demands lack political logic and represent an excessive request. Earlier, a Pentagon spokesperson reaffirmed the United States' commitment to defending Israel. No one wants to see escalation. No one wants to see a wider regional conflict. So, hopefully we don't find ourselves in a situation of having to employ those capabilities. But if we need to in the defense of Israel, we will. The Biden administration on Tuesday approved $18 billion in additional aircraft and weapon sales to Israel. Earlier, the president suggested the outcome of upcoming ceasefire talks could impact what Iran does next.
Do you have the understanding that Iran could cease or stop doing an action if a ceasefire deal is possible?
That's my expectation. We'll see. The White House has said if Iran follows through with the attack, it could happen as soon as this week. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio has more from Tel Aviv. Ramy.
Drika, good evening. Leaders and top officials, not only of the United States, but also the UK, Germany, France, and even the Vatican, are trying to talk Iran down from retaliating against Israel. But Tehran said that retribution is, quote, a right to stop even more Israeli aggression. The militant group Hezbollah, its proxy to the north in Lebanon, may time its own revenge with Iran's strike. Both blame Israel for the assassinations of top leaders 2 weeks ago. Israel admitted it killed Fuad Shukr, a top leader of Hezbollah and advisor to leader Hassan Nasrallah. Iran blames Israel for the killing of Ismail Haniyeh, the head of Hamas's political wing. If Iran and Hezbollah do attack, a former Israeli prime minister told us that the military would then launch counterattacks, which could then drag the whole region into all-out war, pulling in Mideast and Western countries. But ceasefire and hostage talks between Israel and Hamas set for this Thursday may be the event keeping retaliation on pause, at least for now. And Iran today, for its part, put down any speculation that it was part of the talks at all. But if those talks do succeed, that could bring the region back from the brink. But Drika, if they fail, that could be the trigger for Iran and Hezbollah to strike Israel.
All right, Ramy Inocencio in Tel Aviv, thank you. Let's bring in retired Army Lieutenant General Mark Schwartz. He is a senior fellow at the RAND Corporation and served as the United States Security Coordinator for Israel and the Palestinian Authority. Thank you for joining us this evening. Reuters is reporting that 3 senior Iranian officials have said that the only way Iran does not retaliate against Israel is if there is an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Will that strategy work?
Well, obviously yet to be seen. I'm surprised Iran has not attacked already. Given the opportunity that they certainly had prior to the U.S. bringing all of its additional capabilities into the region, and how effective they were last time against the attack that took place in April. But what Iran's supreme leader has said, and the new president, that their response is going to be independent of the ongoing negotiations that they feel compelled to respond to Israeli killing Hania.
This sort of defies that idea. If that is the case, I mean, do you see that happening as a potential actual ceasefire that takes place if that is in fact the case?
I think that there's still a lot of space between what Hamas would like to see happen and with respect to a ceasefire and what Prime Minister Netanyahu is willing to accept. In the event that the discussions that are going to take place on Thursday, if in fact Hamas has representation there and there's an agreement, there's obviously potential that Iran could stand down now and choose another time to their benefit to strike back against Israel. So
and Lieutenant Schwartz, just as you were saying that, I just got word from my producer that Hamas just announced that they will not participate in those talks on Thursday. So this, again, obviously, when there are talks that are supposed to be had to get to a resolution and now they're backing out of it, it obviously intensifies the likelihood that something, as we've been reporting, could happen sooner than later.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Shalom, I have a lot to say about that. So
Okay.
first of all, the number that he gave out that Biden is going to give Israel is just astounding. What is Israel's export? What is America getting? They're talking about they want to. Israel helps us to keep stability in the region. It hasn't been stable since they've been there. So what is the
Right.
stability that they're trying to keep? So that's one. The other thing is I heard on the news this morning that the Prime Minister of Israel again moved the goalposts with regards to the terms for the ceasefire that he does not want and the release of the hostages because he wants to continue to keep this escalating this. That was the reason for the attack and the murder of those two negotiators. And that is the reason why I mean I think I heard the person say in the story that Iran said that they would come to the table to negotiate a ceasefire. But what I heard this morning was that the prime minister said, change the terms for it again. So it's obvious that they don't want a ceasefire, but yet America continues to enable them to keep all of this stuff going on and be on the brink of war, despite the fact this man keeps changing his mind about what it is that it's going to take to bring everybody to the table to get a deal. He doesn't want a two-state agreement. He doesn't. And we know that. So
Right.
why do we continue to keep sending this? I mean, numbers I can't even imagine worth of money over there to these people. Like I said, what are we getting out of this? I don't see anything that we're getting other than the secret
Right.
that they hold.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah. So when you understand, that's my whole point. That and is what's going to come down on a lot of people. They think that it's just like I said, they're in a world where they thinking that they got their own decision, they can make their own decisions. But truth is truth, and the Most High is going to make sure the truth come out before He bring the judgment, because that way you can't have no excuse on that it wasn't explained. So the Bible says how we know that the New Testament is garbage is this event right here. It's actually happening wholesale. We looking at it. Where is it at in the scriptures? Where's that in the New Testament? It said they tell us that the four beasts at the end is going to be 10 kings that's going to come together, and they're going to give their power to the beast, the Antichrist that's coming. You're going to get their power. But what we're looking at is, like I said, it's a whore. The four beasts has a whore that's controlling it. So what's the whore? So America, Israel, the original Israelites, that's God's woman. So if it's a whore there, it's some people there that's not His woman, that's posing as His woman. We looking at that. over in Israel. So it tells you the whore is controlling the beast. That's nowhere in the New Testament. So these Israelis is controlling America. So you say, what are you talking about? All you have to do is go back to the Brentwood Agreement when they got the land of Israel. The whole world was intertwined in a world war. These people that's controlling everything was behind the scenes signing land grants and all that to get the land of Israel. Nobody knows that until the war was over with. Then they pop up and they get the land of Israel. Everybody at the UN vote for it, and they become a nation out of nowhere. And ever since then is when all the drama started. So that's what's adding up to prophecy. It's nothing in the New Testament that's adding up to that. And so then they always talking about this shadow government. What's the shadow government? It's the whore. The same whore. What are you talking about? They got dual citizenship. They over here. None of them are in the number one position like the Secretary of the State, Secretary of Agriculture. They're not in no position. They're in the undersecretary position. They control. They got their own land over in Israel, posing as the people that they're not, and they running the government over here behind the scenes in secretary positions and on these undersecretary positions. That's the shadow government that you're always hearing about. That's nowhere in the New Testament. Paul ain't talking about it. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they ain't talking about it because it's garbage. But now we have the luxury. We sitting there and we watching it unfold. And it's not unfolding the way you done told us. That's how we know it ain't true. Okay? These are people that's controlling this. It's no other way to look at it. They control everything America do. This is supposed to be a little bitty country that's over there that need America's help, but they dictate everything America do. Every president that come in, none of them come out and say, we ain't gonna help y'all, we don't deal with you. Every president helps them. So the Bible tells me it's a whore that's controlling the beast. We looking at it. Wholesale. And he also tells us that he's gonna destroy it. The whole world gonna watch them be destroyed. We watching it. It's unfolding in front of our face. Okay. Any comments? Everybody good?
Yeah, and you know
Yes, sir.
just recently those again, all this is politics. You know that several or a lot of, I don't know exactly the number, but like you said, most congressmen and women and senators, especially those that have been in there for a really long time, 20 plus years, they have dual citizenship with Israel. And
Right.
then
And they've been had it.
everybody that's, huh?
They've been had it. We just finding
Yeah.
out. But way back when we watching with Nixon and all them, the same thing was going on. But we had blinders over our eyes. We ain't see all that. We ain't know none of that.
And they just
It's
ran
been
out
going
those
on.
two. Right, and they just ran out those two women from the, I guess, two congresswomen that spoke very loud against Israel. They
Right.
just they or they helped their opponent by outspending them and got those two out of Congress.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, they're always doing it just like they just did to the sister. What her name? Cori Bush.
Booker. Mm-hmm.
That was Booker or was it Cori? No, that guy is Cori Booker, ain't it?
I thought her name was Booker too.
No, it's
She the
Bush,
one
Cori
that
Bush.
vowed. Oh, okay. She said
Yeah.
Bush. She
Yeah,
said
she
that
spoke it too.
she's vowing that, she said those people who supported, I forgot the name of the group, she said it's her, she's some kind of vendetta. She said she gonna make sure she bring them down because she
Right,
know
right,
where the money is and what they did to get her out of there.
right. And she went for the Palestinian cause. She made it a point
Right.
that she was for the Palestinians, and she also had a problem with black. She wanted to push. She pushed for reparations, and she had a problem with Black Lives Matter. That's what got out of it.
Yeah.
Ain't that something?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's check this out. This is some need to know information right here.
I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. Do you see with your eyes? It's red.
The United States has been an influential world power for many years. However, it is currently facing a series of critical events, from the attempted attack on Donald Trump during a campaign to the approaching presidential elections. Global attention is completely focused on the country, and the results of these elections could have profound implications, both political and spiritual. So what's going on with the United States and Donald Trump? What lies ahead for this nation? And what does the prophecy say about these current events? Even non-Christian analysts and politicians are discussing these predictions. In this video, we will explore these crucial themes and analyze their potential impact on the nation's future. We will also discuss the factors that can speed up or temporarily halt this prophecy. If you want to discover what the approaching prophecy is for the United States and the fears it generates, stay until the end of the video. Before continuing, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell so that YouTube notifies you whenever we publish a new video. Let's get started. Without a doubt, we live in difficult and prophetic times. Events on a global level have dismayed everyone, but a recent event in the United States raised alarms worldwide due to its influence as a power. In recent days, the whole world has been very attentive to what is happening in the United States, both because of the presidential elections that are approaching at the end of the year and because of the reaction of powers such as Russia, China, and the Middle East, who are watching closely to understand what kind of government they will have to deal with in the coming years. Furthermore, as you well know, the news has been focusing on the recent incident on Saturday, July 13th, in the afternoon, when a young man tried to assassinate Donald Trump. This event generated an avalanche of videos and speculation on social media about the young man's identity and possible motivations behind the attack. On the other hand, President Biden decided not to run for election, leaving Donald Trump as the main candidate. The question now is, what will happen in the United States if Donald Trump returns to power, and what will be the implications of his post-presidency? Now, for those of us who study eschatology, this moment has led us to look more deeply into biblical prophecy. Some scholars have drawn attention to one prophecy in particular that could have significant implications for the country. Even people who are not Christians are discussing the possibility of important events materializing in the United States. The fulfillment of this prophecy could be affected by a series of events that could unfold in the coming months. It is essential to pay attention to these factors to better understand the implications and possible outcome of the situation. But you, dear listener, may be wondering, what biblical prophecy are we referring to, and why do we affirm that its fulfillment is conditioned on certain specific events, so that you can more quickly and easily understand all the signs around us? In difficult times like the ones we are living in, it is crucial to be aware of the prophecies that are being fulfilled. Many still don't realize what is happening in the world, and that's why I decided to offer a special gift to all channel subscribers, an exclusive digital ebook entitled The Secret Behind the Holy Bible. In this book, you will find impactful revelations about biblical prophecies that will surprise you. Don't miss this unique opportunity to gain valuable knowledge. Downloading is simple and immediate. Just click on the link available in the first pinned comment. Remember, we only have a few units available and they are selling out quickly. Don't leave it for later, as the ebook will soon be taken down. Enjoy now and guarantee your gift. Before explaining the prophecy, it is essential to analyze some key aspects about the United States, both from a political and prophetic perspective, to better understand what is coming. To understand the current role of the United States, it is essential to examine its rise as a superpower after World War II, especially after the use of nuclear weapons in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The United States has emerged as the dominant power globally. Victory in the war and the ability to develop and deploy nuclear technology marked a crucial turning point in its international standing. Since 1945, the United States has established itself as the world's leading military and economic power. This status has allowed them to exercise a global leadership role, imposing significant influence over international policies and the balance of power. Powers such as Russia, Germany, and Japan recognized and respected this position of supremacy. Thus, the United States became the main actor in world geopolitics, with a considerable impact in both the economic and military spheres. Although the United States remains a dominant global power, in recent years we have witnessed a slow but discernible decline in its preeminence on the international stage. This trend reflects a progressive deterioration in its global influence and power. Currently, the United States is facing a serious economic crisis, characterized by exorbitant international debt and unprecedented inflation. This economic panorama has been accompanied by a notable loss of respect internationally. The perceived weakness of the current administration has led several countries to question and challenge American authority, evidenced by the recent presence of ships from rival nations in the Caribbean. This situation reflects a decline in the global influence of the United States, which has historically been considered a feared and respected superpower. Although it is still a world power, its ability to exert influence and maintain its leadership status has significantly diminished. What is particularly worrying is the possible proximity of a prophecy that anticipates the fall of the American empire. In this analysis, we will examine this prophecy in detail and discuss the factors that could hasten or delay its fulfillment. Despite the concern this prospect may generate among those who value the United States' role in the world, it is crucial to understand the reasons behind the prediction of its eventual decline. When analyzing the eschatological prophecies contained in the books of Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation, it is observed that the United States could have a significant influence in the final period of history, particularly in the last week of Daniel. This week refers to a 7-year period during which the Antichrist is expected to exercise his dominance.
So this is what I was talking about right here. This is how far off they are. It's all this can already happen.
Detailed review of these prophecies suggests that, in the context of apocalyptic events, the United States could experience a decline that would prevent it from playing a prominent role in the events of end times. In this video, we will explore the reasons and factors that could contribute to the downfall of the United States as a global power within the scope of eschatological biblical prophecies. Firstly, biblical end-time prophecies, specifically in the books of Ezekiel, Daniel, and Revelation, do not mention countries like the United States. Instead, nations like Russia, Turkey, and other regional entities stand out. This absence is particularly significant given that we are approaching the period of the Great Tribulation, and the United States has been a dominant power in recent times. The lack of reference to the United States in the prophecies suggests that in the context of apocalyptic events, the country may not play a prominent role. If the United States had significant relevance during the Great Tribulation, we would expect at least a symbolic or indirect mention. This omission raises the possibility that the country may not be present as a global power during the fulfillment of the final prophecies.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be present. It's not assuming it's not gonna be present. Like I said before, it ain't adding up to Revelations. It's not gonna be here. We already see. We don't see nothing in the scriptures in the Revelations pertaining to what we see happening in front of our face with Russia and China. We don't see that. It's not in it. For they concerned, Babylon the Great that's in Revelations is America, when it ain't. It ain't gonna even be around when it hit the fan. It's not gonna be here. We see a whole other country rising up over America. When it's all said and done, they're not gonna even be part of the plan. They're gonna go away because of this war that I said talking about, bringing China up. Bringing China and Russia up. That's where the fulfillment comes in at. The actual fulfillment is in Second Ezra. If you got a book, you got a apocryphal book, you can read Second Ezra. And I think it's, let me see, I think it's chapters, let me get it. Second Ezra. We got videos on this, but it's in Second Ezra. Chapter 10 chapter 10 is where it started, and then you go to chapter 12 is the fourth beast. Daniel get Ezra get the Lord of Hosts shows Ezra more in detail than what he showed Daniel. So it says in Second Ezra chapter 12 verse 11. This is the no, let me go back. Okay, it says so I slept, right? This is in chapter 10. So I slept that night and the following one, and as he had commanded me, and it came to pass on the second night that I had a dream, and behold, there came up out of the sea an eagle, this the fourth beast, with 12 feather wings and 3 heads. And I looked, and behold, he spread his let me see, okay, yeah, it says, and I looked, and he spread his wings over the whole earth, and all the winds of heaven blew upon him, and the clouds gathered about him. And I looked, and out of his wings grew additional wings, and they became small and dwarf wings. But his head was but his heads were resting, and the middle head were greater than the other heads, but it was resting like them. And I looked, so that's three heads, right? And I looked, and behold, the eagle flew with his wings, and it rained over the earth and over those who lived on it. And I saw that everything under heaven was subject to him, and no one opposed him, nor any creature that was on the earth. And I looked, and behold, the eagle rose up upon his talons, and he uttered his voice to his wings and said, do not all watch at once. This is what I was telling you about right here. This is the fourth beast. Do not all watch at once. Sleep, each in his own place. So there's not no 10 men, 10 toes coming together. So each one of the beasts transformed itself 10 different times. It says, do not watch at once. Sleep each in his own place, and watch by turns. See that? Not coming together in one mind. They watch by turns, but let the heads be reserved for the last day. We're looking at the heads now. China, Russia, what we looking at now. Okay, but I want to read one thing because I don't want to get into this, get the sidebar. So it says, yeah, I don't see it, but it says that the Lord of hosts tells Ezra, the beast that you see is the fourth beast, and that I'm showing it to you, and I'm giving you a greater understanding than what I gave to your brother Daniel. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's Okay. I'll find it. Keep going. I want to get sideballs. So anyway, he told him that this full beast, like I showed your brother Daniel, I'm going more in depth with it, and he explains it to a greater understanding to Ezra than he did to Daniel. I'll find it out later on. I'll read it tomorrow. Okay. But anyway, let me see that I'm at. Yeah. Anybody have any questions, comments on what I was playing? Everybody good? Okay. Open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments about anything they came across they wanted to talk about or discuss before we move? Okay. Yeah. So two things I want to bring up. The first one is we was talking on the morning Shabbat, and I was telling you about there's 2 months left. We're looking at right at 2 months left before this election comes, and we know that these people already, we know what they done on January 6th, but they already said and proclaimed that if Trump don't win, all hell gonna break loose. They're gonna circle the wagons. So like the guy was saying, you don't want to be nowhere around no white folks or nowhere around no white community nowhere on January 5th, November 5th, and he lose. So, and then I also said that when you understand how these people operate, chaos, it never fails. It comes in September because of their satanic ways and the way the things that they do. It always comes in September. So guess what? I was looking at something this morning and it hit me. Trump, he's gonna get sentenced September the 18th. So think about that. They already, nobody couldn't believe they had gave him those 34 counts. They got all bent out of shape by that. So and now they're trying to get the judge that's supposed to preside over it. They coming up with some kind of bull crap that he got some kind of ties to Kamala Harris. So they trying to get him to step down because he got it's conflicting things involved in it. But the judge said he ain't stepping down. So if they sentence him on September 18th and he go to jail, what you think gonna happen? We ain't gonna make no. We ain't gonna have no election. They're gonna erupt. We already see what they're doing in UK. UK, they already went bonkers. They want the black folks out of UK. They want the Muslims and the blacks out of UK. As we speak, it's total chaos in UK. So September 18th, did this guy get convicted? You don't want to be around nobody. You don't want to be around no white folks on September 18th. Okay, let that ferment. Like I said, everything they do is in September. When they brag about they wicked ass plans, it's always in September. That's their month. And I was looking at that today, and like I said, he go to trial, he get his decision September the 18th. Okay. And I had another one. This is I read this here. I want you to make something to think about. This is in Isaiah 31. I want to read it. This is another witness about the Lord of hosts and who he is, right? So I'm in Isaiah 30. Let me get it right quick. It says, I mean, I done read this 1,000 times, but it didn't jump off the page until yesterday. So I'm in chapter Isaiah 31, right? Okay, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots. So what's going on is the Most High, Daniel already prophesied that Nebuchadnezzar was coming to Jerusalem I mean, Jeremiah already prophesied that Nebuchadnezzar is coming to Jerusalem and he's going to destroy it. He's going to burn the temple and all that. Well, a bunch of Israelites wanted to go to Egypt and get the Egyptians and the Pharaoh to help them with Nebuchadnezzar. But if you remember, the Lord already told them when they left Egypt, when he brought the 10 plagues, he said, you're not going to deal with these people no more. You're not going to see this place no more. You're not going to have to deal with them no more. But when he brought the wicked, remember it's 2 baskets of figs, right? So when he brought Nebuchadnezzar, this wicked group of people, they wanted to go to Egypt and get the Pharaoh to help them. When Jeremiah already told them what to do, so they wanted to go to Egypt. So that's the foundation of what I'm talking about. So in 31, Isaiah 31, it says, "Woe to them that go down into Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not." See, that's where we at. They look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. So I told you before, Yahweh ain't the Holy One. It's 7 Holy Ones. So whoever this is right here, it ain't Yahweh. It says Holy One of Israel, right? 2. Yet he also is wise and will bring evil. Just talking about the Lord of hosts, the Holy One. He also is wise and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of evildoers. So this ought to be comforting for everybody on this line, right? He will rise against evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. Now, the Egyptians are men and not God. Their horses are flesh and not spirit. And when the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fall together. For thus the Lord spoken unto me. This is Isaiah talking. Like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey, when a multitude of shepherds is called forth against him, he will not be afraid of their voice, nor abase himself for the noise of them. And so shall the Lord of hosts, see that? So shall the Lord of hosts come down, see that? To fly for Mount Zion, to fight for Mount Zion, and for the hill thereof. So right here, you got the camp saying that these are, he's in a UFO. He's in a flying saucer, because it says right here, so shall the Lord of hosts come down. See that? So they're saying he in the UFO, but we're going to keep going. Come down to fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof. And here you go. This is why they're saying it's flying saucer. As birds flying, yeah, that's where they're getting the flying saucer from. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it and pass over. He will preserve it. Turn ye unto him, whom the children of Israel have deeply revolted. For in that day, every man shall cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which your own hands have made unto you for a sin. Then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword, and not of a mighty man, and the sword, and not of a mean man, shall devour him, but he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be dismayed. And he shall pass over. Look at, here you go. This is the Lord of hosts. He shall pass over to his stronghold for fear, and his princes shall be afraid of the ensign. Right? Go back to Isaiah 11. Son of Jesse, gonna be for ensign, and he shall be afraid of the ensign, says the Lord, whose fire is in Zion, and his furnace is in Jerusalem. So my point is this: he's flying over. He coming down from heaven, and he's flying because he got wings. So you say, what are you talking about? It says that in the Passover, the reason why they keep the Passover was they were told, the Lord of hosts told Moses, go get the children of Israel to sacrifice a lamb, slaughter a lamb take the blood, put it on all the doorposts, and then the angel of the Lord is going to come and fly over Goshen. Not no damn UFOs. He's going to fly over Goshen, just like right here. He's going to pass over Goshen. Not no UFOs. He got wings. It ain't none of Yahweh. Okay? Any comments? Like I said before, when we go back and look at, he gave them when they was the craftsmen, he told them to build two angels in the Holy of Holies, and he says their wings, both of their wings stretched across the whole building, from one end of it to the other end, their wings connected. So you got these beings with these long ass wings like that. What the hell they needed to be in a UFO for? Think about that. The guy Buzz Aldrin went up into heaven and said he not going back, and they asked him why. He said, because I saw a being up there with, he said the wings were stretching across the whole sky. And I don't want to go back up there. So what the hell are you gonna be? What do you need a UFO for? Or, I mean, what do you need a spaceship for? With wings like that? Come on. Let it firm, mate. Okay, anyway, so with that being said, nobody have any questions or comments or anything before we start reading out of Jubilees? Everybody good? Let me play this here. Said I wasn't gonna play it, but I'm gonna play it. This
A recent Redfin report showed that 56,000 real estate contracts were canceled in the month of June. That's the highest number of cancellations in any June on record. Some fear that this could be the beginning of a collapsing housing market. I'm going to dive into this article today and get more details to find out as to why are these people pulling out of buying these homes. But I'll tell you, it all basically comes down to one thing. Homes are just getting too damn expensive. In Redfin's latest report, it showed 5 markets. Now, it's not across the entire country, but there were 5 markets where these 56,000 contracts were canceled. And some pretty interesting information in this article that I found. House hunters are having trouble committing because buying a home is more expensive than ever. The median home sale price rose 4% year over year to a record $442,525 in June. The average interest rate on a 30-year mortgage was 6.92%. While that's down slightly from the 7.06% from the prior month, it's still more than double the all-time low hit during the pandemic. Buyers are getting...
So I'm showing you this for a reason. Why you think this is happening? See, he's running Negroes out of the city. Because all hell from the break loose. The Most High hate cities. That's all we see him doing, destroying cities. Even in the flood. We hate it. This is how close we are. These are warnings. You're putting pressure on people. Cutting them off. Because they ain't getting it. So, yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to read out the Book of Jubilees. Last night, I read 24, I think it was 24, 25, 26. I'm going to read maybe 27 and 28. Okay. Chapter 27 and 28. Was talking about what happened, what went down with Jacob and Esau before their death, and what was promised to Abraham before Esau and Jacob was born. So I'm gonna pick it up in 27. Okay. Nobody have no questions or comments about nothing? Okay. "27. This is Jubilees. It says Rebekah was told Esau's words in a dream, and Rebekah sent for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, look, Esau, your brother, will take vengeance on you and kill you. So I don't know if that registered or not. It says Rebekah was told Esau's words in a dream. Rebekah was told Esau's words in a dream, and Rebekah sent for Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, look, Esau, your brother will take vengeance on you and kill you. Now, therefore, my son, do as you are told, and get up and flee to Lebanon, my brother, to my brother Laban, to Aram, and stay with him a few days until your brother's anger fades away, and he removes his anger from you, and forget all that you have done. Then then I will send for you to come from that place. We know his anger never did cease. That same anger is what brought about the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, and what happened on the plantations, what's happening today? It's Esau's anger, the harlot I told you about. That's who controlling America, Esau. So Jacob said, I am not afraid. If he wishes to kill me, I will kill him. But she said unto him, let me not be bereaved of both my sons on one day. And Jacob said to Rebekah, his mother, look, you know that my father has become old and does not see because his eyes are dull. If I leave him, he will think it is wrong. If I leave him and go away from you, my father will be angry and will curse me. I will not go. And when he sends me, only then will I go. And Rebekah said to Jacob, I will go in and speak unto him, and he will send you away. And Rebekah went in and said to Isaac, I hate my life because of the two daughters of Heth, whom Esau has taken as wives. If Jacob take a wife from among the daughters of the land, such as these, I cannot live with it, because the daughters of Canaan are evil. Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and warned him and said to him, do not take you a wife of any of the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethel, your mother's father, and take a wife from that place of the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And God Almighty bless you and increase and multiply you, that you may become a company of nations, and give you the blessings of my father Abraham, and to you and to your offspring after you, that you may inherit the land that you travel in, and all the land which God gave to Abraham. Go in peace, my son. Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Mesopotamia to Laban, the son of Bethel of Syria, and the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's mother. And it happened after Jacob had departed to Mesopotamia, that the spirit of Rebekah was grieved for her son, and she wept. Isaac said to Rebekah, my sister, weep not because of Jacob, my son, for he goes in peace, and in peace will he return. And the Most High God will preserve him from all evil and will be with him. He will not forsake him all his days, for I know that his ways will be made to prosper in all things, wherever he goes, until he returns in peace to us, and we will see him in peace. Fear not on this account, my sister, for he is on the upright path, and he is a perfect man, and he is faithful, and he will not perish. Weep not. So how can Isaac tell all that? Because he was given to him in a dream. That's how I can tell him this. And notice he says that Jacob is a perfect man. So say, what are you talking about? Well, the Bible tells you Noah was a perfect man. And what he mean by that is DNA, right? He's made in Adam's image. That's why he's perfect. So Isaac confronted Rebekah because of her son Jacob and blessed him. Jacob went from the well of oath to go to Haran on the first year of the second week in the 44th Jubilee, and he came to Luz on the mountain, that is Bethel, on the new moon in the first month of this week, and he came to the place at dusk and turned from the way to the west of the road that is close. And that night he slept there, for the sun had set. So notice that's the Bethel. Bethel is the house of bread, the same place where the ladder, where angels come in and out from the other dimension. It says 17. He took one of the stones of that place as a pillow, laid down under the tree, and he was journeying along, and he slept. And Jacob dreamed that night and saw a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven as a portal, right? And he saw the angels of the Lord ascending and descending on it, and behold, the Lord stood on it. So the angel of the Lord of hosts, stood on the ladder, while other angels were coming up and down it. It says, and he spoke unto Jacob and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, your father, the God of Isaac. The land that you are sleeping on will I give to you and your offspring after you. So let's look at that. We saw last night in Genesis chapter 15, they say that prophecy is talking about 400 years over here. They're going to go into captivity in 400 years, come out with great substance. But the prophet to Abraham, and he told Abraham, when you die, I'm going to multiply your seed, and they're going to go into captivity, and the land is not theirs, and they're going to come out with great substance. So we saw right here in 24, Abraham died, which is part of the prophecy in Genesis 15. He died, then Isaac had Jacob and Esau. I mean, Jacob and Esau received their blessings, and now we see this prophecy in Daniel in Genesis chapter 15 taking place right here. So the same angel that told Abraham we're going to multiply him, and that he's going to his seed going to go into captivity, right, for 400 years. So I'm in 27 and 19, and this same angel talking to Isaac, Jacob. Now he says, and he spoke to Jacob and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham. See that? This is who we're talking to Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land is in Genesis 15, right? The land that you are sleeping on, I will give to you and to your offspring after you. So what are you talking about? This is the same place where Abraham made the altar. That's why he dreamed. He took one of the stones that Abraham had used to make an altar. It's already anointed. It's already anointed on the stone. And he laid down, that's when he had the dream. Then the Lord of hosts showed up and told him this right here. And he spoke to Jacob and he said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, angel, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land that you are sleeping on, I will give to you and to your offspring after you. This part of the prophecy of Genesis 15. Your offspring shall be as the dust of the earth, and you will increase to the west, to the east, to the north, to the south, and in you and in your offspring shall all the families of the nations be blessed. They didn't become a nation until they went to Egypt. When they came out of Egypt, they came back to the land of Canaan. That's the prophecy in Genesis 15. Ain't got nothing to do with no 400 years over here. So did 21. Behold, I will be with you, and I will keep you wherever you go, and I will bring you into the land again. See that? I'll bring you into the land again in peace, and I will not leave you until I do everything that I have told you. Right? Jacob awoke from the sleep and said, truly, this place is the house of the Lord, not the house of God. This place is the house of the Lord, and I did not know it. He was afraid and said, I am afraid because this place is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven, and I did not know it. And Jacob got up early in the morning, took the stones that he had placed under his head and set it up as a pillow for a sign, and he poured oil on top of it, and he called the name of the place Bethel, but the name of the place was previously called Luz. And Jacob vowed a vow to the Lord, saying, if the Lord will be with me and will keep me in the way that I go and give me bread to eat and clothes to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then the Lord shall be my God, and this stone which I have set up as a pillar or a sign in its place shall be the Lord's house. And of all that you gave me, I shall give a tenth unto you, my God. Any question? That's Genesis, Jubilee 27.
Shalom. I have a quick question. Isn't this
Okay.
also where that well is built?
What well? The well of no, the well was built when Abraham made the covenant with Amalek. That's where the well was. Let's look at that.
I thought it was in the same area though.
The
Yeah, it's in
well
the
of
same
hope.
area, but it's not. It's two different places. So right here is so what they want, this is what I was saying about how the typology that they use in the New Testament. That's where Jesus talking to the woman at the well at. The place you're talking about. So check it out. It says,
Because I thought it was three significant things that happened in that spot or in that general area. That's where Abraham was to sacrifice Isaac, and it didn't happen. This is where Jacob fought with the angel, and then there was a well that was built in that same area. And my question to that is, how does all three of those tie together?
yeah, here you go right here. Chapter 21, verse 22. And it came to
In
pass.
Jubilee?
No, this in the King James.
Okay.
21, verse 22. And it came to pass at that time that Amalek and Piscal, the chief captain of his host, spoke unto Abraham, saying, God be with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son, but according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, that thou should do unto me, and unto the land wherein thou hast sojourned. And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Amalek because of the well. Here go the well you're talking about. The well of water, which Amalek servants had violently taken away. And Amalek said, I wot not who had done this thing, neither did thou tell me, neither yet have I heard of it but until the day. And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Amalek, and both of them made a covenant. Here you go right here. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. So 7, that's because these 7 angels there with him. So he took out 7 male angels, set them to the side. Amalek don't know what's going on. So then 29, and Amalek said unto Abraham, what mean these 7 ewe lambs, which thou hast set aside by themselves? We know what they mean, right? Then he says, and he said, for these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hands, that they may be a witness unto me that I have dug this well. Wherefore he called that well Bathsheba, because there they swore, both of them. So see, that's a different place.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? I'm gonna read chapter 28 and then we'll close out. Okay. It says, he went on his journey and he came to the land of the east, to Laban, to the brother of Rebekah, and he was with him. And Jacob served Laban for Rachel, his daughter, 1 week of years. In the first week or the third week of years, he said to him, give me my wife, for whom I have served you 7 years. And Laban said to Jacob, I will give you your wife. And Laban made a feast, took Leah, his eldest daughter, and gave her to Jacob as a wife, and gave Leah Zephnath for a handmaid. And Jacob did not know, for he thought that she was Rachel. And he went into her and saw that it was Leah. And Jacob was angry with Laban and said to him, why have you done this to me? Did not I serve you for Rachel and not for Leah? And why have you wronged me? Take your daughter, and I will go. You have done evil to me, for Jacob loved Rachel more than Leah, because Leah's eyes were weak, but her form was very beautiful. And Rachel had beautiful eyes and a beautiful and very voluptuous form. Laban said to Jacob, it is not done that way in our country. We do not give the younger before the elder, and it is not right to do this. For thus it is ordained and written in the heavenly tablets that no one should give his younger daughter before the elder, but the elder one is given first, and after her the younger. And the man who does so will have guilt placed against him in heaven, and none is righteous that does this thing. For this deed is evil before the Lord. Command the children of Israel that they do not do this thing, and let them neither take nor give the younger before they have given the elder, for it is very wicked. And Laban said to Jacob, let the 7 days of the feast pass by, and I shall give you Rachel, that you may serve me another 7 years, that you may pasture my sheep as you did in the former week of years. And on the day when the 7 days of the feast of Leah had passed, Laban gave Rachel to Jacob, that he might serve him another 7 years. And he gave Rachel Bilhah, the sister of Zephyr, as a handmaid. He served yet another 7 years for Rachel, for Leah had been given to him for nothing, since it was Rachel he wanted. And the Lord opened the womb of Leah, and she conceived and gave birth to a son called Jacob, son of Jacob. And he called his name Reuben. On the 14th day of the 9th month, in the first year of this 3rd week. But the womb of Rachel was closed, for the Lord said Leah was hated, and Rachel loved. And again Jacob went in to Leah, and she conceived and gave birth to a second son for Jacob, and he called his name Simeon. On the 21st of the month, or the 10th month, and in the 3rd year of this week. And again Jacob went into Leah, and she conceived and gave birth to a 3rd son, called his name Levi. And in the new moon of the 1st month, in the 6th year of this week. And again Jacob went in to her, and she conceived and gave birth to a 4th son, and he called his name Judah. On the 15th of the 3rd month, in the 1st year of the 4th week. Because of all this, Rachel envied Leah, but she did not bear a child. And she said to Jacob, give me children. And Jacob said, have I withheld from you the fruits of your womb? Have I left you? And when Rachel saw that Leah had given birth to 4 sons for Jacob, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, she said to him, go in unto Bilhah my handmaid, and she will conceive and bear a son for me. She gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and he went in unto her, and she conceived and gave birth to a son, and he called his name Dan, on the 9th of the 6th month, in the 6th year of the 3rd week. And Jacob went in again unto Bilhah the 2nd time, and she conceived and gave birth to another son for Jacob. And Rachel called his name Naphtali, on the 5th of the 6th month, in the 2nd year of the 4th week. And when Leah saw that she had become sterile and could no longer have children, she envied Rachel. And she also gave her handmaiden to Zephnath to Jacob to wife. And she conceived and gave birth to a son, and Leah called his name Gad, on the 12th of the 8th month, in the 3rd year of the 4th week. And he went in unto her again. She conceived and gave birth to a second son, and Leah called his name Asher on the second of the 11th month, in the 5th year of the 4th week. And Jacob went in to Leah, and Leah, she conceived and gave birth to a son, and she called his name Issachar on the 4th of the 5th month, in the 4th year of the 4th week. And she gave him to a nurse. And Jacob went in again unto her, and she conceived and gave birth to 2 children, a son and a daughter. And she called the name of the son Zebulun, and the name of the daughter Dinah. And in the 2nd day of the 7th month, in the 6th year of the 1st week. And the Lord was gracious unto Rachel, and opened her womb, and she conceived and gave birth to a son, and she called his name Joseph, on the new moon of the 1st month, in the 6th year, in this 4th week. Okay. And in those days when Joseph was born, Jacob said to Laban, give me my wives and sons, and let me go to my father Isaac, and let me make a household for myself. For I have completed the years in which I have served you for your 2 daughters, and I will go to the house of my father. And Laban said to Jacob, stay with me, and I will pay you wages, and pasture my flock for me again, and take your wages. They agreed with one another that he should give him as wages those of the lambs and kids which were born spotted, black, and white. These were to be his wages. All the sheep brought out spotted and speckled and black, variously marked, and they brought out again lambs like themselves, and all were spotted were Jacob's, and all those that were not spotted were Laban's. And Jacob's possession multiplied greatly, and he possessed oxen, sheep, donkeys, camels, and men servants and maid servants. And Laban and his sons envied Jacob, and Laban took back his sheep from him, and he envied him and watched for an opportunity to do evil. So that was 28. Anybody got a question? Okay, I want to shine light on something. Like I was telling you how they twist words up to make them mean what they want them to mean. So it says right here, in verse 20, when Leah, right, this is one of Laban's daughters, when Leah saw that she had became sterile and could not no longer have children, she envied Rachel, right? And she also gave her handmaiden Zephnath to Jacob to wife. So you say, what you talking about? So that wife means to go into. See that? And she also gave her handmaiden Zephnath to Jacob to wife. So what they got us think a wife mean? It mean he said a wife. So you say, what are you talking about? Let's go to Genesis right quick. I'm in Genesis, right? And so it says, the making of the woman. I'm in Genesis chapter 2, verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of the ribs of his ribs, closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is not bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So the Lord made her, brought her to Adam. In verse 24, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife. See that? So what he done? He consummated the relationship. Same thing over there. Leah saw that she couldn't have no more kids, and she envied Rachel, so she gave her Leah to wife to go into. Right, same thing right here. The Lord he took the rib, made the woman, brought her to Adam, and Adam went into her, the wife. See that? 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. They're going together.
Shalom.
So you say, well, go ahead.
So that's saying that when a relationship between a man and woman is consummated, that they are one.
Right, they one, they white. That's what white means.
No matter how many there's been.
Right, but I'm saying is, you got it's no such thing as breaking away from that. That's why he said they become one flesh. So anyway, so we all over the place. What we doing now, and what we expecting to happen, what we expecting to come, ain't coming. Cause we all are. We ain't shit we doing is right. But this prophesied this is gonna happen. He cast us over here for this very thing. So when going by what these folks have told you, you think you lined up. You ain't lined up. So let's look at another place right quick, and then I'm gonna close out. So so here you go. Yeah, this one Isaac met Rebecca. Abraham sent his servant to go get a wife for him. Says I'm in 24:62, and Isaac came from the way of the well of Lahora, and he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to mediate in the field and the evening tide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. That's Rebecca. Abraham's servant coming back with her on camels, and he see him, right? 64. Rebecca lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lit off for the camel, right? And then 65. For she had said unto the servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and she covered herself. Check it out. 66. And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Then 67. Isaac brought her into her mother's tent. See that? As soon as he met her, Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent, took Rebecca, and she became his wife. He wifed her. See that? It became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. See that? So what they got you mean, what they telling you it mean, ain't what it mean. Got a whole bigger, a greater meaning. So this is just like Adam. When soon as he brought Eve, he made Eve, he brought it to Adam. Adam did all Isaac doing is what Adam done. Okay. What this song?
So there's four mothers of the tribes of Israel, not two.
Four mothers, two sets of sisters.
Two sets of sisters, right? The handmaids are sisters.
Right. So that's going totally against what they told us today. Ain't that something? Oh yeah. And so, like I said before, the same beings, when you understand that wicked ass spirits and that he said that when the giants came down here, when the angels came, slept with the women, got giants, giant died, and wicked ass spirits. That's where you get wicked spirits at. So those fallen angels, those wicked spirits, they're the ones that tried to kill us in Egypt, try to reduce our population, but we multiplied. And the same thing in Babylon. Same thing in the Medes and Persia when the Haman tried to kill us. So it's the same spirits. There ain't no new spirits, so they got it down pat now. Now they doing now. Now they got us, we being reduced because of the curses, because of our disobedience. So we're being reduced. Abortion, ignorance to the scriptures, all that. We're being reduced, not knowing the scriptures. So you say, what are you talking about? Well, the handmaidens, what the Pharaoh got, he got Hebrew handmaidens to kill all the male children, right?
Yes.
The Hebrew handmaidens.
Yeah, there was Hebrew handmaidens he said when a girl is born, keep her. But when a male child is born, kill it. Right?
Yeah. when they were in Egypt.
They refused to do it.
Right. That's how we got Moses.
Yeah. They was under the law. They knew the law. It wasn't taken away like it is with us. We in la land. So they refused to do it. They wouldn't do it. But because we've been cooked, we run to the abortion clinic or wherever thinking it's cool. And then 2 weeks later, you join the church and now you're on the right track. Come on. And that's all the way across the board. Like I said, anointing. It's an all that the Creator made. He done took that away from us. We have no access to it. The Ark of the Covenant, he took it away. We don't have no access to it. Our forefathers did. So they come to show you that Mary crying on JC and bust the acid ballot box on his feet and rub flowers on his feet. That ain't how you get anointed. Oh, that's embarrassing. Come on. Ain't that something? Yeah. We ain't doing nothing that's right, half-ass right. Oh, yeah. They gave us all these new words. That was the purpose of Sir Francis Bacon and Philo of Alexandria and Pinelda and Josephus. They're giving us new words, new just like the my man on what's that movie? Sente on Amistad, the movie when they had to go to court. They won the court case, and then they outside around the fire celebrating, and the lawyer come and tell them they got to go to another court. They had won in the local court. He said you got to go to another court, and to the Supreme Court. Then Cynthia asked him, "What you mean? What you mean?" And then he said, started using words like Cynthia listening to him, and he's saying words like woulda, coulda, shoulda, and then he's saying, "Them ain't no words. These ain't no words in my language. Them ain't no words." See what I'm saying? And this is how we operating over here. These bullshit ass words and shit that he gave us, and rearrange our understanding on what a word means, like Lord and God,
and introducing letters that don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like it wasn't even no J until we came in contact with the Europeans. They created the J. So we know it ain't no Jesus right there. Okay. Ain't that something? Yeah. Anybody got any questions or comments before we go?
That's a lot.
No, sir.
Okay. Shalom, Brother Leonard, when you were talking about the midwives, right, delivering the babies, right, and they lied to the pharaohs, saying that that these women are not like Egyptians women. It's like I don't know. I could just picture them saying that, like they delivering these babies too fast. Ain't nothing we could do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes,
and
sir.
And like I said before, they wasn't, they weren't disconnected from the law like we are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, they are lively.
Oh, yeah. Right. Look at some. Okay. Shalom. You see everybody tomorrow. We got our Women's Advanced Bible Study at 7-9 Central Time. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.